Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. We are just days away from Super Bowl 58, and while many are excited about the action on the field, the action in the kitchen may steal the show. Our Sonia Ellison talked to people about their favorite game time snacks.
Super Bowl Sunday is this weekend, and people are talking about it, shopping for the food they'll be enjoying on the big game day.
My uncle usually hosts some sort of Super Bowl party get-together event, so I might be going to that, but yeah, I usually just go to them for the food.
Less people are watching the game at bars since the price of beer rose by 5.9% last year, even more for drafts. Those making big game plans at home will likely pay more than last year, too. The price of Super Bowl staples like pizza, wings, chips, and dip are up 12% higher.
They sure are.
According to a Circana survey, the average Super Bowl fan is expected to spend $43 on food and drinks this Sunday, up 23% from last year. The spike in prices has caused some not to spend much or any money to celebrate the big game this year.
We're not buying anything for the Super Bowl.
Blowout or not a great game. You didn't, spend a whole lot on it. Just hang around with the family and the kids.
No, staying home. Be in Aruba, though, watching the Super Bowl.
But if you're in the southern tier for the big game this Sunday and don't want to cook, Pudgy's Pizza will be open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. taking orders. Wegmans has a big game pizza and wing special and is open until midnight on Super Bowl Sunday, long after the start of the 6:30 broadcast.
We'll see how it goes this weekend.
Sonia Ellison, Big Fox News.
Incubator Works opened up a new location in Elmira, serving as a central location for entrepreneurial programming. The Elmira Incubator is on 318 Madison Avenue and offers programming for small businesses and entrepreneurs like a 12-week business class, business plan programming, youth programming, prototyping programs, and small business boot camps. Programs help foster growth for local small businesses. Learn more on the Incubator Works Facebook page. Work began this week to begin upgrading Hornell's Veterans Memorial Park on James Street. The city says the project includes reconstruction of the tennis courts, the addition of pickleball courts, basketball court replacement, and the addition of a splash pad to replace the baby pool, also upgrades to the pool house. The park will stay open during construction, but access to select areas may be restricted at times as needed. The project was made possible by local investments and a state parks and recreation grant. Elmira's Economic Opportunity Program hosting a free laser tag for teens next Friday, February 16th. It will take place from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Ernie Davis Center. That's at 350 Davis Street. EOP says teens that are enrolled in the Elmira City School District and in grades 7 through 9 are welcome to attend the free event. Register at chemungyouth.com or check out Elmira EOP's Facebook to find the flyer and scan the QR code. Former President Trump is one step closer to the GOP nomination after easily winning Nevada's caucuses last night. Meanwhile, President Biden's re-election campaign took a major hit after a scathing report put his old age and mental acuity in the spotlight. Rebecca Castor has more from Washington.
Former President Donald Trump is riding high after another big win on the campaign trail. He brought in a whopping 99% of the vote in Nevada's caucuses after his last major rival, Nikki Haley, chose to skip it.
We're leading everybody. We are right now. Is there any way we can call the election for next Tuesday? That's all I want.
Meanwhile, President Biden is facing a campaign nightmare after the release of a report on his mishandling of classified documents Thursday. The investigation cleared Biden of any criminal charges, yet made numerous references to the president's age and memory. The lead investigator choosing not to take Biden to trial because, quote, Mr. Biden would likely present himself to a jury, as he did during our interview with him, as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation.
The report also says in interviews, Biden did not remember what years he was vice president or when his son Beau died, putting the DNC in damage control. A January poll found 76% of voters have concerns about Biden's mental and physical health.
I think President Biden is incredibly experienced, knowledgeable, wise, and I don't have concerns about his age.
Separate from politics entirely, it's just sad. We're looking at age-related dementia right in front of our eyes.
Former President Trump is facing charges for his own mishandling of classified documents. He wants his case thrown out as well, but the special counsel points out Biden cooperated with investigators and Trump has not. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
New York City police are searching for a gunman after a shooting in Times Square left an innocent bystander wounded. The shooting happened Thursday night. Police say the suspect was attempting to shoplift inside JD Sports and opened fire during an altercation with a security officer. The victim is a woman believed to be a tourist. Police say she was shot in the leg and was taken to a local hospital. A New York City doorman is being hailed as a hero after he stepped up to help a young woman being robbed in broad daylight. A 24-year-old woman was robbed of her phone by two thieves outside a Manhattan building. The two robbers chased after the woman and pinned her against the glass of the building lobby where that doorman was posted. That's when he jumped into action. He ran outside to see what was happening, but the pair tried to trick him by saying the victim was the one stealing from them. The pair then snatched the woman's phone and took off, laughing as they ran away. Well, thankfully, the victim was not harmed, and the thieves weren't able to snatch her purse as well, thanks to the doorman. In world news, big changes could be coming to the front lines of Ukraine, with a new commander expected to shake things up in the coming weeks. Alex Hogan has more from London.
As the fighting grinds on along Ukraine's eastern front, big changes could be coming soon. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announcing Thursday he's swapping out General Valery Zaluzhny. It's the biggest change to Ukraine's military leadership since the Russian invasion began. And it's not sitting well with some folks in Kyiv, where Zaluzhny is seen as a Ukrainian hero.
There is a certain kind of dissatisfaction in my soul. I can't say for sure. I mean, there is, as they say, some discontent.
We hope our government has not made a big mistake and that everything will be for the best.
The move followed a highly anticipated counteroffensive last year that failed to make any significant progress. Zelensky is now calling for a new approach to frontline management, but Russian President Vladimir Putin says that will not make a difference, claiming the war would end very quickly if the U.S. stopped sending weapons to Ukraine.
There's a huge influx of weapons. In this case, you should tell the current Ukrainian leadership to stop and come to a negotiating table.
And more of those weapons could be coming soon. The Senate voted to advance a bill that would provide aid to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, and the White House predicts it will pass.
We believe there's bipartisan support for Ukraine. There are congressional members on both sides of the aisle that wants to get this done.
Ukraine's new military commander said on Friday his two main priorities are improving troop rotations and developing new technology to fight the Russians. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
We'll have your full weekend forecast after the break. Plus,
you might want to think twice about putting the next purchase on that plastic. America's credit card spending spree just hit a new record level. I'm Griff Jenkins in Washington. I've got the details coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening. A mild winter continues to push on. Even earlier this week, we had technically some cooler temperatures into the 30s, but that was still above normal. And since then, we have been warming, even topped off at 57 degrees yesterday. And today we were topping off at least into those lower 60s. We're even seeing that the overnight is still staying mild. We see southerly winds still in place with temperatures within those mid to low 40s, but we do have some increasing cloud cover, as we'll note that although those temperatures are going to be staying mild, which nearly are 30 degrees above normal, we'll be working into some shower chances. We'll have highs again, maybe even hit those 60s, but as those showers move on through, note that it's light accumulation, but it is associated with a cold front, and that is going to usher in some gradual cooling. We'll see that it is going to slowly pull back. Weekend should hold within the 40s under some areas of some cloud cover, but pretty quiet conditions before we are going to see that conditions could be a little more active next week. We are seeing some southerly systems as well as Atlantic systems that may be able to bring several snow snow chances to portions of the Northeast. Will those impacts be high or low for us? Still fine-tuning those details. But here for the time being, what we're watching is that we do have a change up in the forecast. We're still going to have very similar conditions temperature-wise to what we had today into tomorrow. 40s to start the day, heading into potentially hitting those 60s. But you can start to see by the end of the day that southwesterly wind starts to steer more westerly and then will become northwesterly as a cold front passes on by with some of those rain showers possible. We'll hit about 60 degrees and then that frontal system passes on by. So here's our start of the day. Might even get a little morning sunshine, and then skies will continue to gradually come a little more overcast, especially when that system passes on by, looking about late afternoon, early evening. It is a very light accumulation as that system slides on through. Might have enough warmth to see a rumble of thunder. So it's going to feel definitely spring-like with that sound out the window, with rain showers only accumulating to maybe a few hundredths of an inch upwards, maybe a quarter of an inch in some of those thundery downpours. But we will have to say goodbye to that warmth. So if you are a fan of it, try to enjoy it early in the day. We'll top off anywhere from those mid 50s, maybe Westfield there 51, to Elmira having that chance of maybe hitting at 60 degrees. And then the cooling starts to push in. We'll even see that as we head into Sunday morning under that northwesterly flow, we do drop back into those 30s. So not as cold as we typically are into those teens, but still that pullback. We'll hold on to some areas of some cloud cover into our Sunday and then see some breaks into the afternoon that will bring us into those low to mid 40s, which again is still above normal. Now, as we head into that Monday forecast, we'll hang on to one more quiet day in those 40s before we will be watching a southerly system that may be able to bring some snow showers into our Tuesday. And then we're also going to have some strengthening northwesterly winds that will drop our high temperatures into those 30s.